Yo fam, Trainer Sam, fitness is my business and I got the insights to all of your questions. One of my clients' sons is dealing with costochondritis. It's a fancy word for basically what we call a rib stitch, or at least that's what I call it. Not to be confused with a side stitch you get from running. It's different. It's pain along the breastbone here. It actually could be anywhere from that lower rib cage up towards the collarbone. And what it is, anything with itis at the end of it, the costochondritis, right? Arthritis is inflammation. So it's an inflammation of the cartilage that connects the rib bone to the breastbone. That is very dense, thick cartilage tissue, but it can get inflamed. And most of the time it gets inflamed from being smashed, repeated stress to it, or repeated stretch. And so if you're someone who is banging out a lot of bench pressing, especially barbell bench pressing with heavy weights, and you are smashing your breastbone on the way down, it could cause the inflammation of the cartilage between the ribs and the breastbone. Also things like heavy dips, right? So you got your body on the dip bar and you're doing a deep stretch with some heavy weight on dips. It's putting a lot of tension in that area. And same thing with really deep chest flies. So really deep, heavy weight pulling back and that breastbone is pushing forward, and then you're squeezing. Same thing with the dips, you're squeezing together. It puts a lot of pressure on the cartilage that attaches the ribs to the breastbone. So first line of attack is to stop doing things that bother it, and that's going to be heavy bench presses, especially if you're smashing the breastbone on the way down. A lot of young guys, they bang the chest on the way down to help produce force on the way up to give them a little momentum, but that can make that issue a little bit worse. And again, reduce that movement pattern there. So you want to just stop pressing for a little bit altogether. Now, this is a naggy little injury. It's a searing pain. It hurts. It takes a long time to heal. I deal with this very often. Every few months, I get a rib stitch, costochondritis, because I have a genetic disorder called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. So I have really weak connective tissue cartilage. My joints are very, very, very bendy. I have very, very stretchy skin. It just comes along with that. But I deal with this all the time, and it hurts to the touch. It hurts to breathe. It could be confused for some type of heart issue, because it can be pretty high up, and then you think, oh my God, I got a heart issue. Listen, if you feel like you got something going on, go to a doctor, get checked out, get the test done. There's nothing wrong with doing that. It's probably good to go do that, especially when you hit, my age, 30 years old. It's time to go see some doctors and make sure things are all baseline, right? So it doesn't hurt to go see a specialist if you feel there's something really wrong on the inside. It's better now than later, but it is most likely, and especially in this person's case, especially for a younger guy, it's most likely some type of, musculoskeletal thing going on. It's inflammation of a specific area. So we want to dial back on anything that could be making it worse. So ditch the pressing movements, and then we're going to add in more rowing movements while we're letting that heal. Now, the reason we're going to do more rowing movements is because we are squeezing those shoulder blades together. We're allowing a little space between that cartilage area, the rib, and the breastbone by coming back, but without adding too much resistance, right? So we're giving a stretch by squeezing our back, but we're not contracting on the way up. So we are giving it a little bit of love by squeezing the shoulder blades, but also we're just trying to build a stronger back in general, so we can take our shoulders. If we do a lot of bench pressing, right, a lot of bicep work, a lot of bench pressing, a lot of abs, we end up a little bit more crunched in this position. Guys walking around like this all day. And that could put some tension here, especially if you're tight in this area, which I'm going to get to in a little bit. And then you go to lift heavy weights and you stretch, boom, it gets a little bit of pressure there and you get that inflammation in that area. So when we're not doing those movements for a period of time, we're going to focus on the posterior side, the back of our body, by doing a lot of rows, squeezing those shoulder blades down and back, chest up. It's going to give this area a little bit of a break. So ditch the pressing exercises for now, especially if you're doing heavy bench press, a lot of dips, and a lot of deep stretch flies, and add in more rowing movements for the next couple weeks. The next thing we're going to do is we are going to focus on the muscles that surround that area, and we're going to try and massage them and relax them. We're going to work out those tissues. So you're going to get a tennis ball or a lacrosse ball or any type of soft-ish, hard-ish ball, and we're going to jam it into that pec, right? We're going to work the pecs first. Now you can put this, you lay down on the floor and do this. I suggest just doing it up against the wall. So you pin this against the wall, and we are going to put pressure on those pec muscles Okay, we're gonna stay away from the breastbone, not on the cartilage. We're gonna put it on that muscle and we're gonna roll that out. You could also do the shoulder and the front of the shoulder while you're there against the wall if you want. Next line of defense besides the tennis ball is going to be a foam roller, because we are going to address the rib cage. So you're gonna lay this on the floor and you are going to roll out the side of your body. The serratus, there's a muscle, your serratus anterior, pulls the shoulder blade forward, but it does rest on the rib cage, so it can cause some problems if that thing gets angry and tight. So we are going to roll that muscle out. It's right here along the rib cage here, and while you're doing that, you're also going to mobilize the ribs a little bit, and we're going to get some of those intercostal muscles, the muscles that line the rib cage. While you're down here on your side, just roll out your lat. The reason we're using a tennis ball for the chest is because it's a little hard to roll your chest on a foam roller here. We are going to address those tissues by bringing some more mobility back to them. We are going to crush those muscles surrounding it so it takes pressure off of that specific spot. After massaging out the muscles that surround that area, we do want to address the actual thoracic cavity, the rib cage itself. Because if you are someone who seems to be more hunched over and things are tight, that means the ribs are compressed downward, and we want to extend them upward. We want to bring more mobility, more space between the ribs themselves to prevent that from happening again, this inflammation of the cartilage that connects the ribs to the breastbone. Anytime we do decide to do some heavy movements or a lot of chest work, we want ribs that, or a rib cage that is able to move and glide efficiently, and that comes from working on your thoracic extension, the ability for your thoracic spine to open the rib cage up. And one way to do that is to try and bring some mobility back to that mid back. So you can take your foam roller, you can lay it on the ground, and you can roll around on your mid back here and try and bring some extension into it. You can also lay this on the floor and you can lean back on it. Maybe I'll attach a video on here or film some at the end and I'll show you some of these exercises here. But we're trying to bring some extension into that mid back here and open up the rib cage. So this is gonna massage that rib cage, then we're gonna stretch and open that rib cage up. You could use a foam roller, you can use a medicine ball, you can grab the medicine ball, you can rotate from side to side. The ribs connect from the spine, the thoracic spine, and they wrap all the way around to the breastbone. It's a big, big cylinder. That's why it's called your thoracic cavity. So whatever's going on in the back will affect the front, whatever's going on in the front will affect the back. So we want to regain mobility in that middle back. A lot of us are very stiff back there. We sit at a desk all day. We kind of stay in this plane of motion. We don't get a lot of rotation or extension. So working that out, massage the rib cage, work on extending that spine is going to help mobilize that area and take pressure off of the spots that are sore right now. And lastly, a thing you can do is work on your deep breathing. A lot of times when a rib stitch happens, especially up top, and you're what we call a chest breather, where you breathe into your chest, the breathing can hurt really bad because it's putting pressure on where that, the cartilage is in that specific spot. So what you can try and do is learn how to control your diaphragm so you can belly breathe. You can breathe deep into your belly. I don't know if you'll be able to see it in the side here because I don't have a big belly, but if I breathe into my chest, it looks like this, right? I'm up top, very tense, neck here too as well. But if I breathe into my belly, it looks like this. So you see my chest didn't go up, my belly went out. Tighten my shirt here. Ready? Watch my belly, watch my chest. So I'm breathing down. I'm pushing my diaphragm down. I'm not elevating my chest up, right? This hurts when you have a rib stitch, right? This doesn't hurt. It's different sensation. Now the diaphragm lines underneath the rib cage and it can get stuffy in there because we're constantly like this. So your diaphragm can be restricted and it might not work as properly as it could be. So what you can do is practice that deep breathing. Now I forget exactly where the diaphragm connects, but I think it's like rib 7, 6, 8, and it goes all the way down. And what happens is when you inhale, it extends downward, the diaphragm pushes downward, and then when you exhale, it comes back up into your rib cage. Okay, so it's a very powerful muscle, and what we can do is if we get strength in our diaphragm, we will actually have a little bit more control over that lower rib cage there, but it also increases our ability to brace and breathe while exercising. And if we can take tension off of this spot here that we normally do when we're bench pressing or doing exercise by breathing into the chest and we're real tight up here and there's a lot of pressure, if we can learn to brace more in that lower cavity here by belly breathing and practicing that diaphragmatic breathing, and learning to brace from here, not always up here, it can take some pressure off and you'll actually see way more benefit long-term from your workouts, better performance, better recovery, less of these issues going on. So work on that diaphragmatic breathing. You can lay down on your back, one hand on your chest, one hand on your stomach, and start to learn how to breathe by moving the bottom hand only and not the top hand. So this is wrong, right? That's wrong. This is right. See the difference there? So that's another thing that you can practice. I'm actually going to show you some of the stretches you can do to open up this spot after you mobilize. I decided to do this after I finished recording the video. So you're going to find a doorway here. You're going to put your arm up on the door, and you're going to take the leg that's closest to the door and push it out and across. This is going to put tension across the body here, and you're going to lean into it and turn. And this is going to stretch the whole pec out. So you want to massage first with that tennis ball and then stretch 1 to 2 minutes on each side. If you want, you can do both hands on and walk through at the same time. Doorway stretch. I personally prefer doing one at a time. I feel a deeper stretch when I do that. You can also use the wall to stretch your lats and your triceps out by placing your elbow on the wall, dipping your hand behind your head here, and then leaning down into the wall. You will feel a stretch here. It actually feels really good. Boom, just like that. You could also put that arm load down too as well. You feel stretch in there as well. And this is how you would mobilize your chest. You would place this ball on the wall here and lean into it. And you can put your arm up, put some pressure. The harder you lean into the wall, the more pressure you're gonna put on those muscles. And the more it's gonna hurt, but that's okay. So you do your pecs there. God, I gotta do this more often myself. And you want to go across that whole pec, so you roll back and forth on that pec again. If you want, you're here, you can do the shoulder as well. This is how you're going to roll that rib cage out. So you got that foam roller down, you're going to place it right on the side of your rib cage there, and you're going to apply pressure and slowly roll back. Oh my God, is that sore? Slowly roll back and forth. Right now I'm actually hitting that serratus muscle, and it hurts. It is angry at me. Boom. And you can even feel, I'm putting pressure on the rib cage, and I can actually feel the ribs pushing in a little bit, because this is cartilage here, so it is mobile a little bit. But so just be careful at applying pressure too fast. Then you can go a little lower down here. This will be more of my lat. So I'm rolling more of my lat. That's okay. Feels good. It's awesome. Now again, you can roll your pec here, but it's going to be a little bit more uncomfortable. So this is how you roll your pec out, just like that. Boom. Now for that thoracic extension I was talking about, you take that foam roller, you lay back on it, and cross your arms here, so you open up the shoulder blades a little bit. There you go. And then you roll back and forth a little bit. First you start with a little bit of that soft tissue massage, and then after that, you rotate back and forth on this guy a little bit. You work those segments of the spine, down, up a little bit. And then, to work that extension, you reach back. Oh yeah. And up. And you can move it a little bit to different spots. Oh yeah. Yep. Oh, that feels good. So you can use a foam roller, a medicine ball. You can use the end of a couch, whatever you got, to open up. That's how you deal with a rib stitch or costochondritis. If you have any other questions, comment them down below and I'll make a video response in return. Don't forget, train your life to change your life. Peace.